Second Chance of Love. Chapter 1, The Past. In the bustling city of New York, 35-year-old Clara Davis stood at the window of her chic Manhattan apartment, staring at the city lights twinkling like stars. It had been 10 years since she had seen James Mitchell, the man she thought she would spend her life with. They met in college, both ambitious and full of dreams. Their relationship was passionate, but the pressures of their careers eventually drove them apart. Clara pursued her dream of becoming a renowned architect, while James followed his passion for writing, leading him to a career as a celebrated journalist. Chapter 2, A Twist of Fate. One rainy evening, Clara attended a charity gala at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. She felt a mix of excitement and anxiety as she navigated the elegant hall, dressed in a sleek black gown. As she mingled with other guests, she caught sight of a familiar figure across the room. It was James, looking as dashing as ever in a tailored suit. Her heart skipped a beat. After all these years, he still had the same effect on her. James had noticed her too. He walked over, his eyes never leaving hers. "Clara," he said softly, "it's been a long time." "James," she replied, her voice trembling slightly. "It really has." They talked for hours, reminiscing about the past and catching up on their lives. Clara learned that James had recently returned to New York after spending several years abroad covering international news. His latest assignment was a book on the impact of architecture on urban life, and he needed an expert to consult. Fate seemed to have brought them back together. Chapter 3, Reconnecting. James and Clara started meeting regularly, under the pretense of discussing his book. They spent evenings walking through the city, exploring its architectural wonders, and rekindling their friendship. The old chemistry between them was undeniable, but both were cautious, wary of repeating past mistakes. One crisp autumn afternoon, they visited Central Park. As they strolled through the colorful foliage, James stopped and turned to Clara. "Do you ever think about what might have been?" he asked, his voice filled with longing. Clara looked into his eyes, her own filled with a mix of sadness and hope. "All the time," she admitted. "But we were different people back then." James nodded. "Maybe we've grown. Maybe we're ready now." Chapter 4, New Beginnings. Over the next few months, their bond deepened. They shared their hopes, fears, and dreams, realizing how much they had missed each other. Clara introduced James to her world of architecture, showing him her latest projects and the innovative designs she was working on. In turn, James shared his adventures from around the world, the stories that had shaped him as a writer. One evening, as they watched the sunset from Clara's apartment, James took her hand. "Clara, I've missed you so much. I don't want to let you go again." Tears welled up in Clara's eyes. "I've missed you too, James. I've never stopped loving you." They kissed, sealing their second chance at love. Chapter 5, Challenges. As they embarked on their new journey together, Clara and James faced challenges. Balancing their demanding careers and their relationship was not easy. There were moments of doubt and fear, but their love and commitment to each other kept them going. James's book was a huge success, thanks in part to Clara's insights and support. His renewed passion for writing inspired Clara, who designed a groundbreaking urban renewal project that gained international acclaim. Chapter 6, The Proposal. On a snowy winter evening, James planned a surprise for Clara. He took her to the rooftop of a skyscraper they had visited on one of their first dates. As they stood there, the city lights glittering below, he got down on one knee. "Clara, you are the love of my life. Will you marry me?" Overwhelmed with joy, Clara nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Yes, James. 1,000 times yes." Chapter 7, Happily Ever After. Clara and James's wedding was a beautiful celebration of their love and the life they had built together. Surrounded by family and friends, they promised to cherish each other forever. Years later, as they sat together on the porch of their country home, watching their children play in the yard, Clara leaned against James. "We did it," she said softly. "We got our second chance." James kissed her forehead. "And I wouldn't change a thing." Their love story was a testament to the power of second chances, proving that true love can find its way back, even after years apart. Clara and James had grown together, building a life filled with love, joy, and endless possibilities. And as they looked toward the future, they knew that their bond was unbreakable, forged by the trials they had overcome and the deep love they had always shared.